We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time, but we ain't gonna wait no more. The boys are back in town. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The boys are back in town. And when the boys are back, there ain't no fooling around.
They're back.
Oh my, there goes the internet.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette, and welcome, 12s, to episode 405 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or sin of your choice, and remember, there's no off-season for talking about our Seahawks. Let's meet the posse for this wonderful episode 405. It's so glad to be back, and of course, with us for merry old England, my good old partner in crime, the yin to my yang, good old Matt. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Good. The kids are awake, Matt. What's going on?
Good. So am I. I'm awake as well. I've been awake for 2 days. Welcome to the real land of the free.
Oh, congratulations, Matthew. I know you were excited about that. Yes.
We won't make it. I won't say too much about it because there may be listeners out there from the UK who do not feel as I do. But yeah, you're lost.
So suck it. No. Also, our very own news hound, his 12-man editorials can be found on the SeahawksSal.com website. You know him as Shadowhawk, of course. We know him as Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. And just like to point out that here in America, we staged our own Brexit about 240 years ago. Worked out well for you. Hope it works out as well for you, Matt.
Ouch.
You ended up with Trump, so we better sort something out before then, isn't it?
Yeah, but it took 240 years before we sunk that low. We had a good run.
We had a good run. It was good while I was there. I'd like to point out real quick that the third member of the posse, the third member of our posse, Dustin, could not be here tonight. He was asked to reprise his role of Tyrion Lannister in the Game of Thrones musical, so we wish him the best for that. Another little short joke. We let him make fun of Dustin's height. All right. Oh, look! Look, we dusted off the guest seat for this show. And what a special guest we have. His third time on the show from sunny, beautiful California. An amazing artist. You can find his Game Buzz comics all over the internet every week with our friend Buzz going through some hijinks. The one and only Mike Pascale. Mike!
Hey, everybody.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you very much. I unchained myself from the drawing board.
Yeah, you said it takes like an hour to do that, so, you're not fooling anybody. So what's new with you? What's going on?
I'm actually getting smart this time. This is the first season that I've decided to do Buzz every week in the off season.
Yep.
As well as the regular season, and I'm actually getting ahead. I've done the next 3 weeks.
Oh, so you're off. Good night, everybody.
Rather than waiting in a panic until the night before it's due.
Oh, yes.
So
Well, what's the fun in that?
Yeah, I know. I've reserved that for my paying job.
And we want to now, speaking of his paying job, Mike is just, I don't even want to describe, and I'm not just saying this because Mike's a guest here. I'm not going to kiss his butt because he's here, because I've done that outside of here. Amazing, incredible artwork on MikePascale.com. Please go to MikePascale.com and check it out. It's unbelievable.
Thank you.
Oh, and also, I believe it's GameBuzzComics.com. Is that correct?
Comic, singular, Game Buzz Comic.
GameBuzzComic.com. That's where you'll see Buzz every week. There's a little Seahawk called Buzz. He goes through a lot of hijinks with people from around the NFL, and it's really, really great stuff. Even last week, or the week before, you drew yourself in there being attacked by Hulk, Mike. We were worried about you.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Always good for a laugh during the season, on season, off season. There's no off season anymore. But if you do yourself a favor, go to MikePascale.com, check out the artwork. It's spectacular. Now, Mike, you kind of shared with us over the internet, not us, you shared it with a lot of people. You shared the fact that on the last show of, not this last season, but the season before on Big Bang Theory, something special happened there.
Yes. I had some of my artwork on there.
Yeah.
I do a friend of mine has a hilarious webcomic called Last Kiss, where he takes old romance comic book art from the 50s and 60s and then redialogues it with funny, usually risque dialogue. And so for the last several years, every time there's a holiday, I will help him in that I will doctor the artwork to fit whatever holiday it is. So if it's Christmas, I'll make one of the characters look like Santa Claus, or if it's Independence Day, I make one guy look like Uncle Sam and that type of thing. And so for Halloween, we always do zombies. And they used one of our posters and a tote bag on the show.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Awesome
Didn't
stuff.
get paid for it, but hey, it's something it was another 30 seconds off that 15 minutes of fame.
There you go. And you can say, I did that.
Right.
But it's just some amazing artwork. You need to do yourself a favor and go look at this stuff, especially if you're a comic book fan. It's amazing work. Just everything that he drew on there, he has on there, it's artistic work is just amazing. So welcome back. I'm glad you're here. We're always glad you're here. And gentlemen, let's go ahead and get to it. The show. It's really like a real NFL football game, 4 quarters and a halftime. Quarter one, there'll be the news. We'll have a couple stories. Mike says he has a story, and I have a special news bazaar. I promise you don't want to miss. Believe me on that. As the laughter goes through. Then quarter two will be Seahawk news. We'll be done with a yay or a nay most of the time. And then halftime will be the best Seahawk-themed play-along trivia game on the internet. Of course, 12-man Fan Jam show, halftime trivia. Can Will get a four-peat is the big question tonight. Will, 3 in a row.
Probably not.
3 in a row by Will. 3 in the last 4. And Matt, the big goose egg so far.
Yeah, don't look at me. I'm on Bacardi now. There's no hope for me.
With a special appearance, I'm going to say this, a special appearance by Statsman Mark in the trivia quiz. So get excited by that.
Yay!
Yay!
We'll come back to that before we start. Quarter 3, our top 5 Seahawks of 2015. We're going to make our own top 5, put it together, come up with a big master list of the top 5 Seahawks that we feel, because the top 100 players the NFL is going on. And, to be honest, who cares about everybody else is not Seahawks. So we'll go on with that. Quarter 4 will be truth or crap, where we'll give you 2 sentences. You have to decide which one's the truth and which one isn't. You get to know the Posse a little bit better. And someone there might mix in a 60-second rant. Will, are you in for a 60-second rant tonight?
I'm up for one.
So much going on. There's just too much show tonight. Before we start, I want to remind you to like, share, subscribe to Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Real quick about Statsman Mark. I was talking to Mike today. We were talking online. And, I want to clear the air about Statsman Mark. I don't know what people think out there. People were worried. Was he fired? Did he leave? What's wrong? He's fine. He has a job. He can't record when we record the show. So Statsman Mark definitely wants to be part of the show. And tonight you're going to hear from him a little bit. He gave me some information throughout the show that I can share with you. So Statsman Mark's doing just fine, thank you, and very much wants to come back. Just right now his schedule is not matching up with ours. So nothing personal. Statsman Mark's still out there and still wants to be part of the show. All right. So let's get the first quarter of news, shall we? Yes, news. Here to catch us up on all the news since we were out fixing our air conditioners. Here is Shadowhawk Will with the news. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, I don't know about you, but over the past several years, anytime I've seen Skip Bayless doing one of his shows on ESPN, I would just sit there and ask myself, why doesn't anybody call this idiot out for his stupid opinions?
I don't get that far, but go ahead.
Well, now that Skip Bayless has left ESPN for Fox, the floodgates are opening. Starting with Scott Van Pelt's knock on Bayless after the Cavaliers won Game 7 of the NBA Finals, because Bayless, among his other stupid opinions, is a LeBron James hater. However, Ryan Russillo and Danny Cannell were on an ESPN radio show this Monday, and went off on the subject a little bit more, saying, quote, "The problem is when you disagree with Skip, you're not allowed to, and then he gets mad at you about it. So, like, nobody wants to deal with it. That's why when the LeBron stuff comes up, if you're going to be so clearly doctoring the results to keep pushing you don't like LeBron, then go ahead and keep doing it because it's great for business." And then Cannell said, quote, "Isn't there a time, too, when you just have to go, I was wrong? Isn't there a time?" Russillo said, "Yeah, it's not good for business. When you disagree with Skip, it gets handled a different way, and a lot of us are like, whatever, so that's why we never bring it up." So, anyway, apparently the unofficial policy at ESPN was just to let Skip Bayless be Skip Bayless. It's going to be kind of interesting when he's going to Fox, though, given that he once speculated that Troy Aikman was gay, something that Aikman is still not happy about. So I'm thinking,
Oh my God!
I'm thinking
Not
he's
that
not
there's
going to have
anything
such a
wrong with
happy
that.
home.
Yeah, not there's anything wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. Just ask Aaron Rodgers. No, it's fine.
Oh my God! So guys, what I do for a living is I work with all the middle school kids that the teachers that get kicked out of class, they go to me.
Oh, jeez.
So I could
Perfect.
see Skip would be like the head of my class. I can always see Skip would be there. You don't like me tough. Well, grow up, son. Good grief. So Skip Bayless is a moron and a bully at the same time.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
And he's
There's
he's not even entertaining at it.
No, there's something that's something even less to like about him. Matt, do you know much about Skip Bayless?
Yeah, I've watched a couple with him and Stephen A, and I've watched some of their first take stuff. It was just like a never-ending rant of nonsense.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
opinions which essentially they just wanted to argue with each other, and I don't know, it's not for me, so I decided not to watch very much of it. But yeah, I know that he's a Dallas fan, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's from he worked at the Dallas newspaper, I think.
And I was one of the ones I watched. He was just throwing this praise over Tony Romo that was just unnecessary and completely unjustified. It was like this just because and I was like, oh no, not for me. Can't be dealing with that.
No. Well, and you remember, Mike, you remember the whole Richard Sherman thing. Address me as Stanford grad Richard Sherman. I'm better at life at you. You remember that one?
Oh, that was a good one. Well, he does not look like a happy man.
Skip? No, never.
No, he just looks like he's angry and I don't know. Like
He looks like somebody left him in the microwave a little too long.
yeah.
See, I always thought he looked like, and you'll have to Google this one, kid. So you might want to get a picture up. But it reminds me of the old black and white Dr. Zachary Smith off Lost in Space.
Oh dear boy.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Always
without
reminds
the
me
humor.
of him. Yeah, without any talent. Just the look.
Nice.
I
Lost
always
in
thought he
space.
kind of looked like Carrot Top after a nuclear meltdown.
Oh,
Broccoli top.
he's all of this and so much more. He's so much more. I always turn him off anymore. The minute I see him, I just turn him off. I'm not even giving him the satisfaction of anything stupid he says. I just I hit the mute. I turn it off. I don't even listen. But so I guess now we'll be watching Fox. So
Just so everyone knows, because of this, I'm playing a drinking game of my own, where anytime somebody mentions anything remotely British, I take a drink of Bacardi, and I'm that satisfaction thing. But that was a direct reference to the old rock band, wasn't it? What's they called?
Stones. The
Yeah,
Stones.
so I'm taking a drink for that, even though it probably wasn't.
Do you remember the Stones? The Royce, do you remember the Stones? Fred and Barney? They were awesome.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the Flintstones. Okay, well that's
I don't think
rubbish.
he's going to remember much, to be honest.
Oh bloody hell, that's rubbish. Total rubbish, I tell you. A bit of a fezziwig. Hey, hey, Will, what's your second story tonight?
Well, Moses, as we all know, Johnny Manziel is doing a really good job of screwing his life up lately. And he has a lawyer who's doing an even better job of screwing things up for him, as horrible as that is to contemplate. This is the same man. His name is, what's his name here? Bob Hinton. This is the same man who, after the assault allegations of Manziel and his ex-girlfriend came out, said that he wanted them to, quote, kiss and make up. So that's a little background for you. However, this past week, he was texted by a
Microphone
reporter
muted.
from the AP and accidentally texted the case strategy of that forthcoming assault case to the AP, who then promptly published it. Basically, in the text, they were saying they were confirming that he is seeking a plea deal in the case and is worried about Manziel's ability to stay clean. Gee, I wonder why. Saying, quote, "Heaven help us if one of the conditions of a plea deal is to pee in a bottle." So, not only is Manziel in trouble, but his lawyer really needs to be disbarred or something.
Now, wait. I need to ask about the pee in the bottle thing. Is that a drug issue or an accuracy issue? Because, that dude, can he
probably
hit it?
A little of both.
Yeah, probably a little both. Oh, my God. So,
Wasn't that a Cat Stevens song? If I could save pee in a bottle.
First thing that I'd like to do. That's Croce, Jim Croce.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Croce, thank you.
Jim Croce. And then the police came along with message of pee in a bottle. Message pee in a bottle.
That's a British band.
Yeah. There you go. Hey!
Uh-oh.
There it is. Bloody hell. Sting. I fancy
another
your
one.
This
knocker.
episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam is sponsored by Bacardi.
I fancy your knockered over there in England.
Cool, that's rough.
This is awesome. Oh, Mike, Johnny Manziel is such a wonderful part of our show every week because he does stuff like this. What are your thoughts on Mr. Manziel?
I don't even know, is he still with Cleveland or has he been booted out?
I think
He's been booted out.
He's been booted out. He's nowhere right now.
Oh, he's nowhere. Well, that
Despite
sucks.
the fact that I constantly beg the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, to call him. It's not happening yet.
Paid for that.
The ironic thing is, being nowhere means he's an upgrade from Cleveland, doesn't it?
Okay, point.
I would think there's enough haters out there of the Cowboys where we could do a Kickstarter campaign and everyone would donate to pay Manziel's salary.
GoFundMe! We got to do a GoFundMe for it!
I'm good for 20. Right here, right now.
Oh my God, please send Johnny Manziel to the Cowboys.
But the thing is, he's not alone because on the 9th of May 2014, Donald Trump said teams are making a big mistake not taking Johnny Manziel. He's going to be a really good and exciting to watch.
Our future leader, ladies and gentlemen.
Really? Yeah, absolutely. That's a tweet from Donald J. Trump on the 9th of May 2014. And he's absolutely right. He's wonderful to watch if you're in the same bar as him.
True.
Now, was that before or after Trump said he was going to build a clear plastic dome over the U.S.?
But that's not a clear plastic dome. That's his head.
Oh, that's
okay. Woo! We just lost. Any listeners we had are now gone. No.
Okay, that's good.
Trump versus Clinton. Matt, I'm going to need your Bacardi on our election night.
Yeah, no shit. No kidding. Woo! Oh, Lord. Well, listen, Will, those were great stories, but I know that Mike has a story he'd like to share. Mike, do you have a story you'd like to share in news time?
Yes, this is really brief, but as you know, we had what was called a Brexit, where the UK left the European Union.
That's another drink.
Matt, were you aware of this?
That's another drink.
After the announcement, there were fears of other exits.
Oh, no.
Such as France leaving for a Frexit, the Netherlands for a Nexit, and so on. That's true. I'm not making that up.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. Go ahead. Sorry.
So fears have spread even further. The NFL have announced a reverse exit that the Cleveland Browns may be applying for a Clegsit because they're dragging down the rest of the league, and the NFL doesn't want them around anymore.
Oh,
they may be
God.
free.
Beautiful. Free the Browns.
Free the Browns.
Free the
I'm throwing
Browns,
another
everybody.
20 for that one.
Oh, my God. A Clegsit.
Gotta love
I love
the
it.
Clegsit.
A Clegsit. A hashtag Clegsit. We got to start that. Hashtag Clegsit. That's beautiful. Oh, what a great story. Now, this is usually where I thank you guys for your news, but I have a story too, and I've been saving this one for a while. We have not been on the air since, early May.
Right after
So it's
the
been
draft.
over a month. Feels like a couple years, but anyway. This story was just too bizarre not to put it into the bizarre news.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Okay, yes, the bizarre news story is often not sports related that I have to share, and this is not sports related, and I apologize in advance, but it's worth it. Okay, This is a real story from Florida. Happened a few months, about a month and a half ago. A married couple in Florida, Tito and Amanda Watts, were arrested for selling golden tickets to heaven to hundreds of people. They sold the tickets on the street for $99.99. Told buyers the tickets were made from solid gold and that each ticket reserved the buyer a spot in heaven. Simply present the ticket at the pearly gates and you're in. Uh-oh, honey, did you remember to pack that? Okay. Now, there were two statements, a statement by Amanda and a statement by Tito. I'll read Amanda's first because hers is just kind of boring. Amanda Watts said in her police statement, "We just wanted to leave Earth and go to space and do drugs. I didn't do nothing. Tito sold the golden tickets. I just watched." But it's Tito's statement is why I'm reading this story. Tito's police statement, and this is a direct quote. I didn't make any of this up. Here's what Tito said. "I don't care what the police say. The tickets are solid gold, and it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC and said sell them so I could get me some money to go to outer space. I met an alien named Stevie who said if I got the cash together, he'd take me and my wife on his flying saucer to his planet that's made entirely of drugs." Seems a little far-fetched.
Seems legit.
Now, it gets better. He then turns the focus of the investigation onto Jesus and says the following. "You should arrest Jesus because he's the one that gave me the golden tickets and said sell them." And now comes maybe the best line ever said on this show. "I'm willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up." Now, the police...
No, I think Molly Whopping's still the best.
Well, Molly Whopping's pretty good. Police said they confiscated $10,000 in cash, a baby alligator, and surprise, surprise, drug paraphernalia. Now, but here's the thing, guys, and this is, as we're ending the first quarter, this is what I want you to think about going into our break. And I've never done this to you before, but I'm going to put you on the spot. That last statement, "I'm willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up." I don't know how many of you are familiar with CSI. But CSI is a little show over here that when they open the show, the guy, the red-haired guy, I don't even know his name, he will say something very clever into the camera, put his shades on, and then you'll hear Roger Daltrey. Right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that makes everything better. I mean, listen to this. If I say, "Hey, I'm going to the store," who cares? But if I say, "I'm going to the store," I mean, that just takes it all. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do something new called CSI the News. We're going to come up, it's kind of like our finish the phrase, and our phrase is, of course, our phrase is, Tito Watts said he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up. And then we're going to come up with our own CSI stinger. So, for example, like, if the story was man loses left arm and left leg in an explosion, you might say, "Oh, I guess he's all right now."
Right.
Right? This is going to be a lot of fun. So, we're going to CSI the News at the end of the first quarter. Here's the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
Coming up at the start of the second quarter, we are going to CSI this story about Tito and Amanda Watts. And then we're going to talk about Seahawk news. We got halftime trivia coming up. And all that's coming up right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
Yes! Oh my gosh! 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 Oh my gosh!
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of episode 4 or 5 of your 12-Man Fan Jam show. Now, we concluded last quarter with an amazing story of a couple in Florida selling tickets to heaven so an alien named Stevie can take them to a planet made of drugs. I can't believe I just read that. Okay. So anyway, we're going to CSI this news. All right, gentlemen, here is your phrase. Tito Watts says he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up. We're going to start with our guest, Mike. Mike, I'll give you the phrase, and then you CSI the news. You ready?
All right.
All right. Tito Watts says he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up.
Sounds like someone is in for another crucifixion.
Oh my God. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Oh, that was awesome. Okay. Will. Hey, Will, Tito Watts said he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up.
But is he too chicken to do it at the KFC?
Oh, nice. All right. Matt. Tito Watts said he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up.
Sounds like Tito's middle name. Yes.
Nice. Little Judas reference for you. All right. I also have two, and I will do one, and then I know our guest Mike has another one. So here's mine. One of mine. Tito Watts said he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up. Looks like a chicken's about to cross the road to bust Jesus. Oh, this might be a new thing. All right, Mike, what's your second one? Mike, Tito Watts said he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up.
I guess there won't be any Resurrection Sunday next year.
We're all having fun, but I think I recommend that we all pray extra hard tonight before we go to bed. All right,
I'm sending $50 to the church.
Yeah, amen. Okay, here's my last one, and then we'll move on with Seahawk news. Tito Watts said he'd be willing to wear a wire to set Jesus up. Looks like Jesus is about to get a golden ticket to the Slammer. Thank you.
Golden. It's golden.
That right there.
Golden.
I know. This is like you could say anything. Hey, Matt, I'm going to the store. I just makes everything better.
All that Roger Daltrey, though, it's all drinks. More drinks.
That's right.
So Matt's done about 9 shots of Bacardi
at least.
since you started that segment.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, okay. We're going to go ahead and go Seahawk news. Real quick, something that broke the day we're recording is T-Jack's situation. Will, here's what I know, and then you can kind of share real quick. T-Jack was arrested in Florida he was intoxicated. He took a loaded gun, aimed it at his wife, and said, "I'm going to kill you." And then Will, her true to God reply, not making this up, Will, what was the reply?
She responded while he was holding a gun on her, saying, "You better be accurate with that gun, because you're sure not accurate on the field."
So it looks like maybe T-Jack's time in Seattle is done. It might have been done before that. Mike, what do you think about T-Jack, losing T-Jack possibly for this? Even though he's a free agent, so we really...
As long as we don't get Johnny Manziel, I'm happy.
Yay!
I don't think we have to worry about that.
No, I think it puts a pressure on Trevor Boykin to make the team now.
It's Boykin, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I'm not that upset. I mean, they weren't really trying that hard to get him back on the team anyway, apparently, so that's okay. We'll move on. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a little thing called Yay or Nay.
Yay! I say the nay!
Yay or nay. Here's how this works. Based on what's happened... Based on what's happened over the last time we talked, we've had OTAs, we've had minicamp, and we've had some things said or done in the Seahawk world that we want to talk about. And I want to get your views. Yay, the statement I'm about to say, you're like, yay, this is right, this is going to happen, or nay, I don't buy it, it's not happening, or it's not a good idea, or whatever. So we're going to start with Will on this. Will, you ready for yours?
Okay,
Will, yours is this. It looks like apparently we have signed Brandon Browner, but apparently his role, according to early returns, is that he's going to be a safety or maybe come in a slot against those tight ends. Yay or nay, Will, moving Brandon Browner to safety or inside on tight ends is a great move?
Yay, for 2 reasons. One,
okay.
We've had trouble over the past couple of years, even as good as our defense has been. We've had trouble with tight ends. Even more so last year with Tyler Eifert and Greg Olson burning us multiple times when we played those teams. And also, I think it's a good fit for Browner, who is a more physical back, who has lost a bit of a step and was never the fastest cornerback to begin with. So I think you get a big physical guy, you get him in the middle of the field taking on these bigger tight ends. who are maybe a bit too athletic for you to trust to a pure linebacker, and it gives our defense another toy to play with. It's a little less predictable. I think it's going to be great for both sides.
Yeah, I think I'm with a yay. Mike, you think it's a yay?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I'm not going to say anything new than what Will already, or you know what I mean, what Will already said.
Yeah, I agree with you. Matt, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with us. So long as he's peed in the bottle before he goes on the field, I don't care, really.
Fair enough. As long as you have a penalty going out onto the field, for me, that's a big thing. Okay, Mike, yours is next.
Okay.
It's been reported over the last few weeks from Pete Carroll and other people that Thomas Rawls and Jimmy Graham are absolutely going to be ready for Week 1. Mike, yay or nay, Rawls and Graham are going to start Week 1 of the regular season for Seattle?
I got to say nay.
Okay.
Yay for Rawls, but nay for Jimmy Graham. I want him to start, believe me, but man, it's just that, the boy's been crying wolf too many times. I've heard too many good things, and the poor guy gets hurt. Yeah. I'm going to pray that he's there, but I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll believe it when you see it. Matt, you audibly gasped.
No, I just took a drink. It's fun. No, I think. I mean, I was the reason I gasped is the thought of having both of those weapons available at the same time.
Be great.
Oh my God.
Is just going to be phenomenal. But I absolutely accept what Mike is saying. We've got to make sure that he's fit to be out there, because if he isn't, he'll get injured again very early in the season, and once again.
So are you going with nay here?
Well, I mean, no. I'm going to go with a yay, because the very concept of those two weapons being, and if Pete Carroll says it looks like it's going to happen, then I'm going to believe him. So I'll go with the yay.
Okay, Will, what you got, yay or nay for Rawls and Graham absolutely starting Week 1?
I'm going to go with the qualified yay. I think they will be starting. I think they will be starting, and I think they'll be far enough along that they won't be in any added danger of re-injuring themselves. I don't think they'll be at 100% yet.
Okay,
I think it's going to take. I think it's going to take a few weeks before they're really what we saw last year.
But them ready for Week 1, I think, is ready for Week 1. Even at Graham is 80% is better than most people at 100. So I'm going yay, basing it on Graham. Rawls, from what was it Rawls' injury that they said there was no tendon damage, I think. So they were really excited by that, because when there's no tendon damage, it's really easy to heal. But Graham was already running and catching balls at OTAs. He couldn't wait to get out there. They wouldn't let him out there, but he's already catching balls from Russell. So I'm already thinking, wow, that's great. So I'm more excited about Graham getting out there. And what I heard about Rawls, I don't know. I think it's a yay too. All right. Last one, and this one goes to Mike, I believe. Mike, you last one, right?
I already did one.
Oh, you already did one, so it's Will.
Yeah, it's Matt's turn.
Oh, it's Matt. Matt. Put down a Bacardi.
Try to keep up, Moses. You're only hosting this thing.
I know. Usually, I tell you. All right, Matt. Here's the thing. You don't play basketball over there, I know. Well, some of you do.
That's netball, isn't it?
Yeah. Former NBA point guard Nate Robinson had a tryout by the Seattle Seahawks over the last couple weeks. So my yay or nay to you is former NBA point guard Nate Robinson will see the field in preseason as a Seahawk defensive back. Yay or nay?
Ooh. I have no idea. I have to say I don't know very much about this. Probably nay, I'd say. Just because I don't know enough about it to be able to give you a qualified answer. Will be able to do it, though.
All right, Will, you got a reason to say yay or nay?
I do, and it's nay.
Yeah.
Not only it's been too long since he's played football. If he tried this 10 years ago, I think he would have had a shot. And we've got so many defensive backs, it's already going to be hard to whittle the backs down that we have already. I don't see us bringing in Robinson and him having a legitimate shot when we've got to get as much film as possible on some of these other guys. So, nay. Sorry.
That's all right with me. Mike, what you got, yay or nay on this?
Yeah, I'll go with nay, just because given Pete and Snyder's past, I think They're not interested in novelty. They're only interested in what will help the team.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have to really prove himself exceptional, and I just think we have enough talent on the team as it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. And plus the fact, what is he, like 4'3" or something? Well, he's like 5'9". Am I right, Will?
Is he really?
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so, he doesn't even fit
he's
our
not
mold.
small. He's not large.
So he doesn't fit our mold as a defensive back just to start with, in principle. Plus the fact, I agree with all you guys said, Will with the it's been too long, and Mike with the need to prove it. I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen either. I say nay.
Now, if Tim Ruskell was still in town, he would have been
happen.
signed already because Ruskell likes the really small guys. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Smurfs. Remember the Smurfs. Josh Wilson and Kelly Jennings. Oh, God.
Wilson actually wasn't half bad. I mean,
Wilson wasn't, but he was 5'9", so that didn't help.
If that.
Right. Okay, so let's move on now. Usually, this is the time when we do our caption picture. However, I'm going to change things up a little bit here. The last couple of shows, Mike has been sending me personally a little question to stump the posse. And since he's on the show tonight at this recording, I thought, you know what, Mike, you can do a live one. So it's time now for Mike to stump the posse. And Mike, I got a little soundtrack for you here, I think. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah,
I'm fooling you. I'm fooling you and you don't like it. You people are stupid. I'm fooling you and you don't like it.
That's pretty English right there. But
I was just going to say, that's Matt's cue.
I'm fooling you, you don't like it.
A little drink now, thanks very much. Cheers.
I'm fooling you don't like it. All right, fool us, Mike. Give us your stump the posse question.
Okay, I'll give you the regular question. If you need a hint, I can give you a hint.
All right.
During the 1994 season, when we were still in the AFC,
gotcha.
Which non-division AFC team did we play twice during the regular season? That doesn't usually happen.
Can you give us the division?
Colts.
Oh!
What did he say?
He said the Colts.
Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, my God, you are so good.
Yeah!
Booyah!
Didn't stump you.
Know that?
Wow! How did that happen?
I couldn't remember any time where we've the same non-division team twice during the regular season. It didn't make any sense.
Oh, my God. I didn't either.
They tried it for a couple of years and thankfully gave up on it. But, yeah, it was a fairly ridiculous idea.
Wow.
That was when Harbaugh was the quarterback and Marshall Faulk was the running back. And believe it or not, we almost won in the first meeting in Indianapolis, 17-15. Came back in the fourth quarter and they couldn't do it.
Well, was that the game now? It had to be around that time that I was listening on the radio over here, of course, because I didn't have, the game on. And I had to listen. And which one was the one where we just absolutely destroyed the Colts?
Oh, no, that wasn't it.
It had to be around that time. It was in the mid-'90s, but it wasn't 94?
Yeah. No, it wasn't 94, so it might have been 93 or 95.
Maybe 95.
Because in Week 13, we lost 31-19 in the Kingdome. And that was when Myra fractured his thumb in the second quarter.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, Moses, we were having to listen to the game on the radio, too, because that's when they were all blacked out.
Yeah. Well, and I can remember, real quick, Colts Seahawks trivia here. The first pass ever thrown by Peyton Manning in a preseason game, first preseason game of the year.
Yeah.
His first pass ever was a touchdown pass, and it was against the Seahawks, and it was in the first preseason game, and they scored, and I was with my friends who are big Colt fans, and they went up 7. Of course, it's preseason, so we really didn't care. We were just having fun. They went up 7-0, went up losing like 31-7, because after that it was like all Seahawks. But I can remember that first pass of Peyton Manning. And I'm like, oh, my God, you guys are already putting him in Hall of Fame already. You just threw one pass the preseason. But we see how that worked out.
To be fair, they were proven right.
They were proven right. Wow, Will, awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, you should get something for that. We'll send you the 12-man Fan Jam home game.
And a golden ticket to heaven.
Oh, a golden ticket to heaven. That's where you're getting. I paid the $99.99 for all of us after what we just did to that story. So congratulations on your golden ticket to heaven. Thank you, Mike. Remember, find all of Mike's creative genius at MikePascale.com or GameBuzzComic.com. Let's finish the story now, this quarter now, with a Caption That Picture. Yes, Caption That Picture, where we take a picture and we go out and we try to caption it. This is a picture of Cassius Marsh, and he seems rather excited. I don't know, for lack of a better phrase. I don't know what you want to call this. He seems pretty excited. Screaming. He's either putting his helmet on or taking it off, and there's a guy next to him. Matt, can you caption that picture? Yes. All right, Matt.
I sort of can.
Matt, caption that picture.
That is the same face that Mike Pascale is now making with his headset, which is slowly crushing his head, apparently.
How did you know?
Nice.
See?
Hey, Will, caption that picture.
It burns! It burns us!
Oh, nice. Hey, Mike, caption that picture.
Ah! They gave me Russell Wilson's helmet instead. I can't get it off.
That's beautiful. I of course have two.
All right.
Okay, my first one is, who put peanut butter in my helmet again? and the last one's musical. And this is going to take us to the end of the quarter too, by the way. I want you to look at the picture. You see his face. You see him with his mouth wide open. Are you ready? Yes.
Oh dear.
A little bit of Whitney for you. Oh my God. Whitney's going to take us to halftime, if you can believe it. Wow, what an amazing second quarter. We did so much, and so much more coming up. What do we think of the top 5 Seahawks last season? Do we have bizarre stories ourselves? Who's Stevie, and where's this planet of drugs? But first, before we do any of that, and Whitney takes us out, we're going to have another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia coming up next.
Well,
And now it's time for a 60-second rant.
you know you make me wanna
Rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
On the off chance an NFL player is listening to this, take a look at what just happened to Tavares Jackson. Take a look at what happens to players this time every year. OTAs are done, mini camp's done. You got 5-6 weeks between practice and training camp at the end of July. Plenty of time to just go hang out, meet up with friends, take a trip. But be smart about it, for crying out loud. You got an NFL season coming up. Maybe it's your first, maybe it could be your last. Who knows? But this is your job. You can't do your job if you're getting busted for DUI, if you're getting busted for domestic violence, if you're doing something stupid and hurting yourself. You know, this time last year, JPP blew out his hand apart playing with fireworks. Nearly wrecked his career. So for all the players out there, if any of you are hearing this, have fun, enjoy the summer, but be smart. Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt your career, don't hurt your team. And if you get in a situation where any of those things could happen, get out of there. Call a cab, call a friend, go home. Don't be stupid, okay? Because we want to see you on the field. Unless you're Colin Kaepernick, in which case, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the bench.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, and welcome to another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia, the trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. And here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagerings. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right, those are the rules. Now, if you notice, the rules left off something tonight, and that is the fact that you cannot ask the kids during this edition of the trivia, and here's why. The reason is because the trivia rounds are the kids themselves. My lovely kids, Mosette and Little Mo. Little Mo will be round 1, and Mosette will be round 2. Questions about the kids. I asked them questions about the Seahawks, and they gave me answers. However, there is one lifeline. And that lifeline happens to be Mark, Statsman Mark. Statsman Mark took this quiz earlier this week. And so if you'd like to know what Mark thought was the right answer, you can check it. Now, Mark did quantify this by saying, yeah, but I know Matt's going to say, I'll just pick whatever Mark didn't say because he gets them all wrong all the time. And for that, Mark has left you all a quick message. So on behalf of Statsman Mark, here's Mark's message to you all.
This is Statsman Mark. Screw you guys.
All right, so.
You too, buddy. You too, bud.
So, you can ask Mark, you can ask what Mark said once only between the 2 rounds, just like the kids. All right, so topic 1 is Little Mo. Little Mo, 4 questions to Little Mo. Another thing we're going to do is the 3 questions. The last question you're all going to answer. You may get an extra point for that. So, our guest is Mike, so I'm going to let Mike pick 1, 2, 3, or 4. Or yeah, well, pick 1, 2, or 3. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll go with 2.
Go with 2. Our champion, Will, 1 or 3.
1.
Will's 1, and that leaves Matt with 3. Now there aren't no what I would call goofy questions, although they're all kind of goofy because they're about the kids. Okay, Lil Mo, remember, give you a little background. He's 10-year-old. He watches all the games with me. He's a diehard Seahawk fan. Here we go. Will, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your first question from Little Mo is this. I asked Little Mo who his favorite current player is. Who is Little Mo's current favorite player? Is it Russell Wilson or Tyler Lockett? Hey, Will! Dig the organ, buddy! Little Mo's favorite current player, Russell Wilson or Tyler Lockett?
I'll go Tyler Lockett.
You're going to go Tyler Lockett. Well, Little Mo... He went Tyler Lockett.
Yay.
Will is on the board.
Oh, shoot, I forgot my hat. Hang on.
Oh, gotta get the hat.
Put the hat on.
You go get the hat. Mike, you're doing number 2. You ready?
Yes.
Mike, Little Mo is a huge Marshawn Lynch fan. Huge Marshawn Lynch fan. So
yes.
I had to ask him which Marshawn Lynch run was his favorite. Was it the Beastquake against the Saints or Beastquake 2 against the Cards? And yes, there's some organ for you to think about it.
All right.
Marshawn Lynch's favorite run of Little Mo's against the Saints or the Cards?
I'm going to have to go with the Saints.
Going to have to go with the Saints.
The original.
Well, I'm sorry. He went with the Cards. And here's his reasoning. He went with the Cards because, and I quote, Patrick Peterson gets pushed over. So he really liked Patrick Peterson getting pushed over. That was like his highlight.
I should have thought of that.
Yeah. Matt, number 3.
Yes.
So Mike is scoreless at this point. Matt, here you go. Your question 3 is this. I asked Little Mo, since his favorite Seahawks were Wilson and Lockett and they're on offense, I said, well, who's your favorite defensive player? And he said, Dad, that's like making me choose my favorite parent. And we all know that's, of course, Mrs. Mo, but we won't go into that right now. So I asked him, who is Little Mo's favorite defensive player? Is it Richard Sherman or Bobby Wagner? Favorite defensive player, Richard Sherman or Bobby Wagner?
Ooh, that's a really. I'll go with Richard Sherman.
He's going to go with Richard Sherman? I'm sorry, Bobby Wagner. Yeah. So after round 1, we have the final question. I'm sorry, question 4. And this is for all of you, and I'll ask you in order, Will, Mike, and Matt. And you can say one or the other, and we'll just go with it. The question is this, Will, Mike, and Matt, is this. Who was Little Little Mo's most exciting meeting. Now, we did get to go to the opening of the 12th man exhibit at EMP, and he got to shake hands with all the upper brass of the Seahawks: Paul Allen, Pete Carroll, John Schneider, Mike Flood, all these people. And I said, who was your favorite?
Cool.
And was it Pete Carroll or John Schneider? Will, who do you think it was?
I'd go Carroll.
Will's going to go with Pete Carroll. Mike, who do you go with?
That's too easy. It would have to be Pete, but since I'm zero, I'm going to go with Mike. I'm going to go with Schneider.
You're going with Schneider. And Matt, what about you?
Oh, so now I'm in a quandary because if I go with Will and Will gets the point, that means that I get a point, and then Mike gets nothing. But if I go with Mike and then Mike gets the point, and then Will gets 2 points.
I know.
I'm sorry. What was that middle part?
Get to the point, Matt.
Take a drink.
I'll go with Will. Pete
Go with
Carroll.
Will. 2 for Pete, 1 for Schneider, and the answer is it's John Schneider.
Oh, I need
Oh,
John
wow.
Schneider was his favorite, and I think it's because
Did you say why?
I think I kind of know why, because Schneider was, I don't know, Pete was fine. They were all great. Don't get me wrong, they were all friendly, but Schneider had a conversation with him. Because it was his first game. He goes, "Oh, really? That's really cool." And he was signing his thing. Goes, "You're from Indiana. You came all the way here for a game." He was really John was really into Little Mo being there. So I think that kind of stuck with him. So I think that's quite why.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So Mike's got a point. Will's got a point, and we go to round 2. Round 2 will be Mosette. Now, gentlemen, this is a 15-year-old girl. So just keep that in mind. You have to think like a 15-year-old girl. So,
Easy.
Yeah, okay.
I dress like one.
Will, wow. Will, 5, 6, or 7?
I'll do 5.
We'll do 5. Mike, 6 or 7?
I'll go with 7.
Okay, and that leaves Matt with number 6. Okay, here we go. Mosette, a Seahawk fan as well. I showed Mosette I showed Mosette all the uniform combinations: white, gray, blue pants, white, gray, blue shirts. Okay, and I said, which is your favorite uniform combination? Did she think it was the white tops with the blue bottoms, or the gray tops with the white bottoms? White with blue or gray with white? What was her favorite uniform combination?
I'm going to ask Statsman Mark.
Oh, he's going to ask Statsman Mark. Statsman Mark said that he thinks she would say the gray tops and the white bottoms.
No offense, Mark. I got to go white on blue.
To which, once again, Statsman Mark will say,
"This is Statsman Mark. Screw you guys."
All right. And the answer to that question, you went white with blue? No, he was right.
Man knows nothing about fashion.
Gray with white. Gray tops, white bottoms. Okay.
What a guess.
Matt.
That's just weird.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
Matt, get excited because you get a musical question. Here we go.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So I asked Mosette if you could play any song when the Seahawks entered the field, what song would you play? And here are her 2 choices. Are you ready? Which one did she want out of these 2? There's a song called Victorious by Panic at the Disco. Here's your audio clue for that. It doesn't get any better, so we'll stop there. And then was a song called Hero by Skillet. And this one sounds just like this. Here's Hero. So, which one do you think was the song that Mosette would play when the Seahawks entered the field? Victorious by Panic at the Disco or Hero by Skillet?
In a 15-year-old girl. 15-year-old girl, she's going to feel rebellious. She's going to be on the edge. But I'm not going to go with that because I much prefer the first one because it's just much more camp. So I'm going to go with Victorious.
You're going with Camp.
Yeah.
You're going with Victorious.
Yeah.
You're going with the right answer.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Matt knows his 15-year-old girls.
There you go.
Yes.
My goodness. I heard that. I said, "Are you serious?" And she just grinned. Okay. All right, Mike. Here you go. Mike, it's all tied at 1. And then we've got the bonus question at the end. So, Mike, here's your question. According to Mozette, who is the cutest Seattle Seahawk player? I showed her all the Seahawks. And I said, who's the cutest? She gave me 2. I said, which one's cuter? And she gave me an answer. So, these are actually the 2 cutest, she thinks. But who's the cutest Seahawk player, Richard Sherman or Russell Wilson?
Oh, man. I want the musical question.
Here's some music for you. Some organ. According to Mozette, the cutest Seahawk player, Richard Sherman or Russell Wilson?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go with Russell only because he's closer in height.
Oh, man. Mike.
No offense.
That's all right. None taken. No, she thinks Richard Sherman is cuter than Russell Wilson. So,
damn.
We are deadlock at 1, which means this last question is very important because it could, could really help out at the end. So, we're going to start with, let's see, this round, who got the point? Matt got the point. So we'll go Matt, Will, and Mike. Here you go. What is Mozette's favorite thing to do when she's in Seattle? We're on vacation. What is Mozette's favorite thing to do? Is it ride the ferry or go up in the Space Needle? Ride the ferry, go up in a Space Needle. Matt, what do you think?
I would say ride the ferry.
All right. Will?
I'm going to go with the ferry.
Mike?
Can I ask Statsman Mark?
Yeah. Statsman Mark said ride the ferry.
All right, then I got to go with the Space Needle. Because I got to figure he'll get one wrong eventually.
Well, that's quite possible. And of course, Mark sends his love to you, Mike.
This is Statsman Mark. Screw you guys.
All right.
I love that
The
guy.
actual answer is actually go up in a Space Needle. So, so Mike gets a point. So here's where we're at. Will, Matt have a point. Mike have 2, which means we will answer the final question in the following order. We will go Matt, we will go Will, we will go Mike. And it is a number, as always. The closest one without going over gets the 2 points, which means this is winner take all, apparently. If everybody's over, the closest number to the actual number will be our winner. It is a number, and it involves Little Mo. And Matt, here is your question. Little Mo's been to 3 Seahawk games.
Yep.
How many total points have the Seahawks scored with Little Mo in the stadium? I gave you a clue because it's 3 games.
Yeah.
So there you can kind of.
Yeah, well, these were all losing games as well, weren't they?
Yeah, they are. I hate to say it.
Oh, well, let me think about this. Hold on. 3 games, and just Seahawks, not total points of both games.
Just Seahawks.
Just Seahawks. So I think it's going to be... That was a sort of that one. I think that was a sort of that one. Carry the 1. I'll go
Lord.
with 42.
Matt's going to go with 42. Will, how many total points have the Seahawks scored with Little Mo in the stadium?
69, dude.
Woo! 69.
Little Bill and Ted reference there.
Carry on. Excellent.
Mike, how many points have the Seahawks scored with Little Mo in the stadium?
I'm going to go with 51.
51.
Man in the middle.
Man in the middle. Well, guys.
Stuck in the middle with me.
In 3 games that Little Mo has been in the stadium where the Seahawks have played, which is once here in Indianapolis and once in St. Louis and once in Seattle, they have totally scored a total of 77 points.
Oh.
Wow.
The 4-peat is real, people.
Booyah.
Congratulations.
Will, 4 out of 5. Unbelievable. What do you got to say, Will?
I'd like to thank the Academy.
And you'd like to thank Sammy Hagar for this great theme song.
Well, of course.
Of the winner taking it all. This has been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. We'll be back in the second half of the show right after this quick station identification.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Welcome to the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you! You behind the KFC in Florida. You know the guy. Hey, why not comment on this show, will ya? Like or comment on the video. Join us on Facebook at 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. Email us, 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Tweet us at Seahawk Positivity. Make this part of your Seahawk fix. Don't need a golden ticket to get in here. All right? So enjoy yourselves. All right. Well, the NFL has their top 100 players of last season playing right now. And so far on the list, they've gone all the way to top 20. It's obvious that Russell Wilson's going to be a top 20 player. He should be based on last season. Right now, we're looking at Doug Baldwin at 72, Earl Thomas at 66, Michael Bennett at 59, Cam Chancellor at 32. But you know what, guys? I don't really care about the NFL and the rest of their top 100. What I want to do is our own top 5, our top 5 Seahawks of last season. And then we'll put them all together, we'll total them up, and then we'll have a top 5 that I'll put on our webpage. And people can also, if they want to add their top 5, that would be great. We would love that. So before I give you my top 5, I'm going to give you Statsman Mark's top 5. Which is kind of interesting, I think. Statsman Mark's top 5. He has Frank Clark at number 5. Now, I wouldn't have done that, but he just thought Frank had a great season. He put Thomas Rawls at number 4. He put Michael Bennett at number 3, Doug Baldwin at number 2, and Russell Wilson at number 1. All right. He's not here to defend that, so I'm not really sure how we can move on from that other than just say, here's my top 5, and I can defend it. At number 5, I put Tyler Lockett. Let's be honest. The kid was an all-pro. Returner, made some amazing catches, just had an amazing season. I would have put Thomas Rawls at 5. Thomas Rawls is kind of 5A for me. Just from the standpoint, I thought Tyler Lockett just, made some clutch moves for us. At number 4, I put Richard Sherman. The reason I put Richard Sherman on the list is I think he got overlooked because, he didn't have high interceptions. They didn't throw his way. But he played every bit as well, if not better than he's ever played a defensive back. So I'm giving Richard at number 4. Doug Baldwin, number 3. The man had an absolute monster season at wide receiver. Probably should be number 2, but I put him at number 3 because my number 2 is Michael Bennett. And the reason it's Michael Bennett, even though he had all those penalties, which is why I should punish him and put him down 3 or 4. But let's face it, outside of J.J. Watt, this might have been the best defensive lineman in the league last year. From inside, outside, he did it all. He had an amazing season. So I'm putting him at 2. And at number 1, I don't know how anyone could not put Russell Wilson at number 1 on their list after the season he's had. The one stretch where it was 13 touchdowns and 1 interception, just phenomenal, unbelievable. So that's my top 5. But now I will turn it over to Will. Will, what does your top 5 look like?
Well, number 5, Tyler Lockett's kind of my 5A. I got to go Thomas Rawls here. Mm-hmm. Just because, he came out of nowhere. He was such we got better after Marshawn Lynch got hurt. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Yeah.
So I got to give that one to Rawls. Pick number 4, I would give that one to, I'd give that one to Sherman. He said he didn't have the stats, but especially earlier in the year when he was having to make up for Kerry Williams and having to move all over the place. I mean, the guy just gave it all for the team this year.
Absolutely.
I'm actually going to drop Michael Bennett down to 3. When he was on, he was completely unblockable. I mean, that playoff game at Minnesota, they could not handle him, and it showed. But the penalty thing, that does bug me, and that did hurt us in the game at Green Bay. I don't know if we would have won that anyway. But I don't think it's any knock on Bennett, though. He had a great year.
Yep.
Second, I'm going to bump Doug Baldwin up to there just because how long have we waited for a real, genuine threat at the receiver position? And he just took a quantum leap forward in his game this year. And I really hope he can keep it up. And, of course, number one's Russell Wilson, because I have never seen anything like what Wilson did last year.
I agree wholeheartedly. And, it's funny, Doug Baldwin and Richard Sherman are on this list, and Russell Wilson's on this list. They're young, but Richard and Doug went to Stanford. You cannot be dumb and go to Stanford. They're incredibly intelligent young men. Russell Wilson's an incredibly intelligent young man. I mean, it's funny, we have this young talent that's not only young, but they're intelligent. They're incredibly intelligent. And that's why I think they're being so successful. But yeah, it was great to see Doug just solidify himself as a great offensive threat. Mike, what about your type five? What's your top five look like?
Well, it's tough. It's just basically just shifting the same guys around.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was actually going to put Hauschka on there because he had a 93.5% field goal hit accuracy, which is pretty good. But he was edged out by Lockett for the reasons you already said. Just you've arrived when people kick away from you. Yep. And there were teams that kicked away from them. So that's respect. I went with Rawls for number 4 because, as Will said, nobody expected much, and he was like the second coming of beast mode there for a while.
Yep.
And who knows what he would have done if he hadn't gotten hurt. I went with Bennett for number 3 because of his 10 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles, which I think is his second highest.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated the penalties, but unless I'm mistaken, he seemed to knock it off towards the last part of the season compared to the first part.
A little bit.
I think he got a little bit better. And then I actually went with Russell for number 2 because he had an awesome season. And the only reason I put Doug at number 1 because people expect Russell Wilson to have a good year now.
Yep.
He's proven himself one of the elite, and Baldwin has just been as Dion was saying for a while. And I think this is the year that he really broke out and took his place amongst the top 10.
I think that's a great reasoning to put Baldwin ahead of Russell. If you're going to do it, it's for that reason right there. The fact that you kind of expect Russell to have the year he had, or something like that, and for Baldwin to just above and beyond expectations. That's a perfectly good reason to put him ahead of Russell. I like that. Wasn't it Michael Bennett? Didn't his daughter say something to him about stop jumping off sides or something?
Oh yeah.
Everyone else has.
I think she did. Or daddy stopped jumping off sides or something.
If she's anything like her father, she said that.
I'm sure she did. Matt, what's your top 5 look like?
Well, I've got an extra player that no one's mentioned yet, but for sort of a strange reason, really. Christine Michael is my number 5, and the reason is because of that second stint that when he came back for us.
Yeah.
Because the kid had a chance. He sort of embodies that whole, this is your moment and you're the last moment. No one else is going to touch it. Skins got rid of you. Cowboys got rid of you. You ain't going to get anything else if you can't stop fumbling this ball. And he had 2 career bests for us. One against the Browns. And then against the Cardinals a couple of weeks later with 102 yards. And I just felt like that was his moment to do something, and he did it. And I was disparaging against him, and I said some things that he was going to just be a complete fumble machine, and wasn't very happy, and took the mickey out of the fact that his name's Christine and not Christian. And on that basis, I think that he deserved at least a place, but I had to give him a low one. But he's my 5th.
Yeah. Right.
Tyler Lockett's my 4th, much for the reasons that I've heard. Then Thomas Rawls, because again, when you've got you've got to fill the shoes of Beast. Those are some pretty big cleats to fill, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's some pretty big boots. And he covered himself in pure glory, so, he's got to be on there. Doug Baldwin, because the man is just third down conversion clutch. I almost can't believe, I can't imagine a team without him. Which is that good. And of course, yes, number 1 is Russell Wilson, because from him all good things flow.
We're going full circle in this whole thing where we were talking about Jesus going into jail, and now from him good things shall flow. Well done. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put I'm going to put our lists in the next couple of days, this weekend coming up on the 12 Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page, If you would like to add your own, that'd be great. I think we'll just put these up there for a good debate. Who you think are the top 5 players from last season for the Seahawks? Here's what I said. Here's what Mark said. Here's what Will said. Here's what Matt said. Here's what Mike said. And then we'll see if anybody wants to add theirs on. That'd be great to add to the conversation. We'd love to hear it. And we'll see what everyone thinks of the top 5. It's interesting to look at it. Obviously, Wilson will probably be our number 1. Doug Baldwin looks like he'll be our 2. Then it gets a little fuzzy. Bennett, maybe Rawls, maybe Lockett. Looks like there's some good variety in there. Kristen Michael, Richard Sherman. Who was the toughest for you guys to leave off the list? For me, it was Rawls without question. But Will, who was your toughest to say? He's not top 5.
Lockett.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, like I said, Hauschka. I think he was good.
Matt, who was your toughest to leave off?
John Ryan.
Oh, very nice. I thought you would say Cooper Helfrich, but
I actually did this seriously.
So you were looking at tight ends. All right, and nobody put Jimmy Graham, which I'm a little shocked. No. All right.
Only because he. Go on. Go ahead.
Only because he what?
No, I'd say only because he went out too early.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal, but
yes, he was. He actually was, and I'm looking forward to him having a full year. I think he'd really come into his own, but as a blocker especially. So who knows? Next year, maybe our top 5 will have a ring attached to it. Who knows? So let's go ahead and let's end the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
Coming up next, you think you know the Posse? You think the Posse knows the Posse? You think everyone knows the Posse? We'll see in a game of truth or crap. Coming up next, you're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, your golden ticket to Seahawk fun. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, this is Matt, all the way from merry old England, and you're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Yes, time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Oh, I love it. And it's time to play Truth or Crap. Here's how you play Truth or Crap. Each of us are going to say 2 statements about ourselves and our past, hopefully loosely Seahawk related, but, that's up to you. The most bizarre, the better. And our panel will then get to ask that person only one question to try to figure out which statement is true and which statement is crap. Then at the end, we all vote on which statement we think is true. Every member you fool, you get a point. And if you win, you get a golden ticket to heaven. So, I'm going to start this little show. Here are my 2 statements. Statement 1, I saw Steve Largent's 100th touchdown catch in person. Statement 2, Matt Hasselbeck called me crazy at training camp. So, Will, do you have a question for me about my statements?
Which training camp was that when Matt Hasselbeck called you crazy?
What was that? 2004? 2004. Matt?
What position were you playing at training camp?
I was not playing a position. I was there to see training camp.
I know. I couldn't resist saying it.
Yeah, that's
all right. What was the first one? What was the first one again?
I saw Steve Largent's 100th touchdown catch in person. That was the first one.
Where were you when you saw that?
I was in the stadium.
Oh, shit.
That's what I mean. I was in person. I was there. Mike.
He was on the sideline taking a picture.
Yeah, really. Mike.
He was the one throwing bottles that had Sam Weish get on the...
Yeah, you live in Cleveland.
To tell them to stop.
You don't live in Cleveland.
What month of the year was it when you saw Matt Hasselbeck?
Oh, Jesus. I want to say July? He says with a question mark, I think.
Okay.
All right. Will, which one's the truth?
You seeing Matt Hasselbeck in training camp and having him call you crazy in training camp.
Okay. Matt, which one's the truth?
Someone will just said the crazy one.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing.
You're all saying that.
Yeah.
You're all wrong! You're all wrong! I saw Steve Largent's 100th touchdown pass. It was against the Bengals in Cincinnati. I was in the stadium, and me and the guy next to me jumped up and cheered, and no one else did.
I think you just told me that yesterday.
Oh, my God, I'm going to die.
Well, and what gets me is I know you didn't come out in 2004 until the Rams game a month or two later, and for some reason I said that.
No, we came out. That's when I first met you. Was it 2003?
No, it was 2004, but
yeah.
I didn't think you came out until the regular season.
No. We came out, and I took Neil across to the training camp.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing.
Clearly, I've been drinking some of Matt's Bacardi.
Apparently. Here's the thing. I was called crazy at training camp because we were from Indiana, and we were on vacation, and we went over there. And I said, I came all the way from Indiana to watch you guys play. Brock Heward was a backup at the time. He looked me right in the eye and said, man, you're crazy. And I said, well, I had nothing else to do. He goes, y'all crazy from Indiana. And he signed my book. So Brock Heward actually called me crazy. It wasn't Hasselbeck. Hasselbeck and I talked about kids for 5 minutes on the way out to the practice field. But it was Brock Heward that actually he did. So, I kind of played that one because somebody said, actually Statsman Mark said, well, I remember you saying that someone called you crazy at training camp. I'm like, that's Brock Heward. It was not Hasselbeck. So, all right. Now we go to Will. Will, what are your two statements?
Okay. When I was 10 years old, Kurt Warner came to my hometown of Oak Harbor, Washington to sign autographs to publicize the opening of a new bank branch.
That's Kurt Warner, the running back of the... Is that my question?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, that is Kurt Warner, the Seahawks running back.
Yeah, sorry. Just for clarification. Yeah.
Kurt with a C.
Okay, and what's your second one?
After a preseason game in 2001, I ran into Chad Eaton at a nearby bar, told him that I wanted him to do nothing else but beat the Raiders the following month when they played. His response was, that's my fucking number one priority, man.
Oh my God, I hope it's the second one. All right. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Oh. Matt, you got a question?
Did you say he was opening a bank?
He was signing autographs to publicize the opening of a bank branch. Yes.
What was the company bank branch? What was the name?
Oh gosh, there's a local one I don't think is in business anymore.
All right.
Oh.
And that's why Kurt Warner is selling cars now.
Yeah, not true.
Mike, what do you got?
I got to go with the Chad Henning one.
So you're not even going to ask a question. You're just positive.
Yeah. No.
All right. You know what? I'm the same way. Please let the second one be true. Matt, what do you got?
Second one. He'd have remembered a detail about the bank branch if it was real.
Okay, we're all going with the second one. Which one is it, Will?
Well, you are correct. The second one is true. Every word of it. The first story, a version of that actually happened, except it was Steve Largent coming to town instead of Kurt Warner.
Very cool.
Because
cool.
the manager of the bank branch, his granddaughter was born with spina bifida, like Largent's son.
Oh.
So the two of them corresponded back and forth, and so when they opened the bank branch, he asked if Largent would come down and sign autographs, and he did. So I got his autograph, awesome. And it's up in the wall of my room at my parents' house.
That's fantastic. Oh, my God. I love the story about Chad Eaton. That's just amazing.
Yeah, that happened word for word. Not an exaggeration.
How great of a fan would you be after that? I mean, oh, my God. I'm going to buy a jersey at that point. You know what I mean? Oh, that's awesome.
Except the Raiders kicked our asses. Oh, well.
Yeah, well, at least he had a priority. It just didn't go through. Matt, how you doing?
Yes, I'm ready.
You ready? Give us two.
Okay, so my first one is, I once paid money to a German exchange student in Seattle to buy me a copy of the Super Bowl winning copy version of the Seattle Times. So this is the edition after the Super Bowl win. Fly it to Germany and then airmail it back to me in the UK because it was cheaper than getting a copy from the Seattle Times directly.
Oh, man.
All right. That's very sad.
Okay, one more time from the top. What was
it? I once paid money to a German exchange student in Seattle to
That
buy
part I'll
me
buy.
a copy of the Super Bowl winning copy of the Seattle Times, fly it to Germany, and then airmail it back to me in the UK because it was cheaper than getting a copy from the Seattle Times directly.
That's funny. That's sad.
Nice.
What's your
And
second
the
one?
second one is, during my first trip to Seattle, I was lucky enough to have a field pass, and I turned down, to their faces, no fewer than 4 selfies with a different seagull in Touchdown City just by saying, no, I'm good, thanks.
Oh my God! You sure they're both not true?
I got to pick the bones out of them ones.
God, they could both be true. All right, I'm going to lead the questions. Matt, gosh. Oh, I don't even know where to start. I don't have a question. Will?
How much did it cost you to have it shipped from Germany to the UK? And did you pay this German exchange student? How much did you pay him?
That's 2 questions. It cost me €4.50, and I paid him via PayPal.
All right.
All
right.
Mike?
That's what you asked, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where did you say the Seagulls incident occurred?
It was in Touchdown City. So just as you
okay.
Just as you
was
were
it
queuing up
before-
where the Seahawkers stands are.
Okay, my question is, who were the Hawks playing that day?
The Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to vote. This is hard for me because I know he was at that Patriots game, but I also have a feeling that first one's true. I'm going with the first one. I'm going with the German story. Mike?
It's so convoluted, I don't think he would take the time to make it up. So I'm going with the German story.
Will?
I'm going with the German story as well, because if he did make that up, I salute him.
Matt?
The correct story is the German exchange student in Seattle. And it's actually a gentleman called Maximilian Lang, who's actually now the president of the German Seahawkers. And to get a copy from Seattle Times directly would have cost me $10 to buy it, because that's how they were selling it. Oh no, sorry, $1 to buy it, $10 to package it, $40 to send it across in the plane.
Dear Lord!
So, because Max was over there as a student, he literally picked up about 12 copies for different UK Seahawkers, flew them back to Germany with him, and then posted them from Germany for €4.50.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's great. And so with the cheerleaders, did that really happen? It was just a different number
It
of cheerleaders?
did happen. I was actually in Touchdown City, and I was at the Patriots game, and I did
Yep.
have a field pass.
Yep.
And there were no Seagulls present at that time.
Well, and I knew that, because that's where we first met, was that Patriots game.
Yeah, it was.
And I knew that you had field passes and all that, and I'm thinking, oh God, it's so hard for me to decide. But I had to go with the German story. But good stories, both of them. Okay. I guess we're now down to Mike. Mike, what are your 2 stories? What's truth and what's crap?
All right. First one. My wife and I have a plush polar bear from the Seattle Aquarium who's named Russell after our quarterback. The second
They're
one
both
is...
the same size.
Oh, man, poor Russell. We have a Seahawk cheerleader teddy bear that fights with the Raiders cheerleader bear.
Wait, fights?
Yeah, they call it she's a slut. The Seahawk cheerleader bear calls the Raiders one a slut.
So, like, you pull a string or something?
No, we do the voices like normal people.
Oh!
What, do you think I'm weird?
Woo! What kind of girl-on-girl action are they selling at that store? That's what I want to know. Ooh, okay. My question, I guess, will be about the cheerleaders. Okay, are they like plush dolls, or are they more like Barbies?
No, they're the plush ones that you usually get at the stadium.
Okay. Matt?
Can you do a version of the voices that you use for the argument? Can you give me an example of the cheerleader argument, please?
Usually it's my wife that does it because she's the
Yeah,
female,
yeah,
but
sure,
it usually goes something like, You tell that stupid slut to let go of my Jerry Rice bear.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
That needs some porn music, doesn't it?
We need, yeah. Hold on.
Waka waka.
Hold on.
He keeps the porn music handy.
Here we go.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now.
Such a slut.
Keep going.
I hate you. You sucky Raiders. You'll sleep with anybody.
Oh yeah. Keep going.
That's
Little
all I
uncomfortable
got.
now.
Oh yeah, we got some hot on hot cheerleader action on this show. Oh my God. All right. Will? Do you have a question?
I don't want to ask a question. I'm going with I'm going with the cheerleader bear story being true just because I hope he didn't make that up.
Because you know what it all leads to. You know, his wife's sitting there, oh, you bad cheerleader. Oh, I don't like you. We should kiss. Yes, we should kiss. Yeah, I see where it's going.
That's wrong.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, I just think that his house suddenly, now Mike, suddenly I've got this image of you sitting there like, so, now show me on the dolly, where did he touch you? It's just wrong. Just wrong. I'm going for that one. It's got to be the cheerleader fighty thing. It's got to be, isn't it?
Okay. It's so funny because on the one hand you have this cute little seal, or what is it?
Polar bear.
Polar bear, cute little polar bear that they named Russell after Russell Wilson. And this other one's like two girls going at it. Gee, which one's true? Okay, just to be stupid, I'm gonna go with Russell. I think you got a little polar bear named Russell. Please be wrong and tell me which one I messed up on.
It's actually an otter, a sea otter named Russell.
Oh my God! So the cheerleader
one is true.
Woo! I have so much respect for Mike Pascale right now. You have no idea.
We all learned a little too much about Mike Pascale this evening.
Oh yes,
California people.
I'm not running for office now.
You kidding?
Oh my
you just
God.
got elected.
Woo! Yeah, no kidding.
Gotta watch this theme turn up in a Buzz comic near you very soon.
Yeah, I just want to know how you're working this into your next comic.
Gotta be there.
Oh, you know, yeah, I was gonna say, but never mind. I'm not gonna go there. Wow, right. California people, right? Oh my God. Oh, wow, that is how you end a show. Dear Lord, that is how you end a show. See, I said we're going to do this thing where you come up with a really bizarre story, and
that
as
qualifies.
usual, Mike Pascale knocks it out of the park with the best story maybe we've ever had on here, next to the alien behind KFC.
I should take photos.
Yes, you should film it with this background. If you film it and put, oh my God, that would be so funny. Okay.
Oh dear.
Well, let's now put a GoFundMe together for Mike Pascale to film
I got
this.
20 more bucks.
I got 30. We're in. Oh my God. Woo. All right. By the way, porn music from the 70s porn show Dr. Sex. And I'm not watching Dr. Sex. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm telling you right
read
now.
It for the article.
The only thing on the screen right now is a huge peace sign. I swear to God. If you look up YouTube, look up YouTube, 70 porns music, Dr. Sex, this is what you get. You get this, and you just get like this, like multicolored peace sign. Okay.
Is it on DVD?
Well, Mike, I'll be sending you a copy soon. Okay. Woo! Wow. I guess it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-Man Fan Jam show to rather arousing close. We are so glad that you decided to waste some time with us during this off season that just drags on and on and on. Or as Marshawn Lynch would say in his interview, over and over and over. We certainly
hope... Run through a motherfucking face.
Wow! All right. We certainly hope you laughed a little. Maybe you got a little aroused. I don't know. And maybe you learned a little
That's
something.
just you, Dennis.
Woo!
That's just you.
All right, maybe you learned a little something along the way. The things we learned tonight, I'm not even going to go through because we learned so much tonight. There's not even worth talking about. So, if you didn't learn anything, listen to this show again. On behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our news hound, Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, wherever he may be, Dustin, wherever he may be, Mike Pascale, always a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Yes, Dustin as the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Mozette, Little Mo, Sheila McRae, Art Carney. Good night, everybody, and go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
I always keep the porn music handy, guys, and now you all know why.
It worked!
Oh my god, that was awesome. Wow.
There's no situation that cannot be improved by porn music.
That's true. Yeah.
That is, I think that should be a Hallmark card.
But